Okay, so we just talked about how we calculate and think about unemployment from kind of a statistical standpoint, but the next thing is that we don't consider everybody who's unemployed. Yes, it's one umbrella, but not every person who's unemployed is the same. The kid who just graduated from college and is looking for a job but doesn't have a job but really wants a job is different from the guy who's been putting bumpers on Chevys for 30 years in Detroit who loses his job because GM says we're going to move a factory overseas, or we're just going to shut down, or the kid who works the summer as a lifeguard, but it's now October and he doesn't have his lifeguard job and he's looking for a job. They're all different. They fall in different categories here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each one here. The first category is frictional. This is actually the student who's looking for a job. I don't know if any textbook says it, but I kind of think of these guys as like voluntarily unemployed, which seems like a weird thing. Why would I choose to be unemployed? Well, you're looking for the right match, essentially. Maybe you moved across the country to get closer to your girlfriend, or moved home to be closer to your family, or whatever. You gave up your job willingly because you wanted to do something else, or maybe you're looking for a different opportunity at a different firm of your own choosing. So I tend to think of these guys as voluntary. And it's a perfectly natural thing to want to maybe look for a different opportunity throughout your career. So this is not necessarily bad. So unemployment not necessarily bad. It always persists, and we always have a little bit of unemployment. Structural unemployment is kind of the guy that's been putting bumpers on for 30 years. For whatever reason, the technology may change. For example, maybe 25, 30 years ago, there were like pager repairmen. I don't know if they actually exist, but we don't have pager repairmen. Who wears a pager anymore? Nobody does that. There's no pager salesman anymore. They've changed over into cell phones, all right? So this is kind of like when you become obsolete, or your job becomes obsolete. I think the classic economics example is in the old school days before cell phones was like telephone operators. We don't use telephone operators. You don't call up and ask the operator to put you through. So these are kind of obsolete positions. You become technology, or your skills just are no longer needed anymore. Now the third here is what we call cyclical. Now cyclical, I'm actually going to skip it and come back because I didn't have an example for that one in my intro here. But the kid who's the lifeguard, it's simple enough. It's a seasonal job. So when the season is over, I'm now unemployed. In the wintertime, in places that are mountainous, ski instructors. You can't ski in August in most places around the world. So I don't have a job in August when I'm a ski instructor. I'm seasonally unemployed. Or lifeguards are good examples as well, in the reverse with the seasons. Now, cyclical is unemployment that comes about because of natural ebbs and flows in the business cycle. So when times are really good, you don't have much cyclical unemployment. But when times are stinky, like, say, the Great Depression, you have a lot of unemployment. So just due to changes in the economy. Which brings me to my final point. We will always have a little bit of unemployment. And it hovers around like 5% is pretty good. Maybe a little bit lower, but somewhere around that 5% number. We don't like it to be particularly high. Which is to say that if we can get rid of cyclical unemployment, we're very happy. These other ones, we understand it's naturally going to occur because as telephone operators got replaced, cell phone salesmen come about. Or, as we put less and less bumpers on by hand, we have more machines, but yet we need people that can fix the machines that are putting the bumpers on. That's a new job. So these other types are less worrisome in a lot of ways than this guy right here. Because we always have what we call a natural rate of unemployment, which includes 1, 2, 3 different types of unemployment. But this guy right here is not included in our natural rate because it changes with the economy. I hope that made sense. If you have any questions, let me know.